What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream, you guys. Happy Sunday. I am here, you guys, in another impromptu live stream. So thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Y'all see the title. We're going to get into a little bit of this, I thought I'd show up today to kind of give you guys this video. I wanted to react to this one a long time ago. And of course, it's a Kendra G video. Of course, if you see the titles like this, you know it's some craziness associated with it. So as you guys come in, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit the like button. That absolutely helps the stream. So make sure you guys are doing that as you come into the building. If you are new here and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also, share and like the stream and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I upload new content or go live. So we're going to hop right into this. I'm not going to keep y'all too long today, but definitely chime in the chat, you guys. If you want to support the channel via Cash App or Super Chat, definitely do that. That actually helps the channel a lot as well. So shout out to everybody watching, everybody in the building. Shout out to Alex. I am Alex. What? Baby Funk 75, Puerto Rican Princess in the building, Dre in the building, or DRE. I don't know how you Dre or DRE in the building. Shout out to Lorenzo Redmond, Ryan Wedlow, Successful MD in the building, Next Level, Eric Stiegel, Hustle the Great. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, you see the title. So that's what we're going to be reacting to today. Shout out to Kendra G. If you haven't, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen her videos, but if you haven't supported the channel or subscribe, go subscribe to her channel. She have a lot of interesting topics over there, as we always see each and every day. What's up, Thomas Bowling? How are you? Van Varner, how are you? Thank you. I appreciate you. So we gonna get right into the video, you guys. We're streaming on YouTube, both of my channels. If you haven't subscribed to the second channel, or the backup channel as they would call it, go over and subscribe to that channel as well. And we're streaming on Twitch also. So follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop talking. Prison Bae didn't work out. Now she wants a husband. Baby, it is what it is. So, I've done several videos on topics like this, and just topics in general of women who have made, mistakes. We're all human. We all make mistakes, as you guys know. We all make mistakes, but a lot of these women have made mistakes or made bad choices when it comes to relationships and men. And for some reason, like most people, that, hey, if you make a mistake or if you choose wrong, you understand that there are consequences associated with your choices, right? You know that if you make a mistake, that you have to be accountable for it, meaning you can't make mistakes and think that you're supposed to be rewarded for them. You shouldn't make mistakes and think that somehow you should get a pass from the consequences, and that somehow you are, supposed to be given huge opportunities or huge advances simply because you made a mistake. In reference to the mistakes that I'm usually referring to when it comes to relationships and women and men, a lot of women who go out and give their time and their bodies to the wrong guys and end up becoming a statistic, becoming a baby mom, tend to think some of these women, not all, but some of these women tend to think that because they have made these poor choices and they've become single mothers, that somebody owes them something, that they're somehow the elite of the women. And I think it's crazy that these women think that. They think that they're owed something because of their bad choices and the outcomes associated with them. Somehow they think that they're owed the most of everything, somehow they deserve something much bigger than any other women around. You know what I mean? For women who have made better choices and decided, you know what, I don't want to become a statistic. I'll take my chances trying to find a reliable, stable man that I can build a family with, and not just give them my body and a baby. So I want to do it the right way. I want to get married, give this the best chance I can to have a better outcome, and marry, and then have our kids, and we try to work this thing out together. Somehow single mothers think that they're worth more than that. It's the entitlements for me that I don't understand, how when you make poor choices and you have consequences associated with it, somehow these women don't get that puts you at a disadvantage. It doesn't really put you at a higher advantage, or it shouldn't make you the most, put you at the top of the food chain. You know what I mean? Put you all the way at the top. It's like they don't get that. They think that they're the best thing walking. And even they have, brainwashed themselves to believe that single mothers are the best choices for men. There are literally women out here. There are literally videos of women actually saying this, actually saying, I think single mothers are the best choice for men because we have the experience, and single motherhood changes you. Yeah, it changes you, but I don't know if it necessarily changes all women for the better. Remember, every woman, we have a lot of similar traits for sure, but everybody don't think the same. So every woman is not walking around here thinking that because they became a single mother that they're bigger and better than the next woman, and they're better than men, and they deserve everything, the cream of the crop. No, every woman is not out here walking around like that. A lot of women are very aware. Well, some, I'll say, are very aware of their choices and how it put them at a disadvantage, and they're trying their hardest to fix it and do something different. So every woman is not out here looking at this as the prize and like there's something special. But it's interesting to see how these single mothers really, really try to put themselves at the top of everybody else, that they're better. They're the 10s. They're the most desirable. They're the ones that men should be looking for. They're the ones that men should be picking. But it's a narrative that they want to spin and they want to push to so that they can get what they want, because they know that that's not the case. But they will, perception is reality. So if you put it out there and make people believe it and perceive it as such, then it becomes reality if people buy into it. But a lot of people are not buying into it. A lot of men aren't buying into that because they understand that, hey, they're the ones who are going to be put on the hook and responsible for all of this extra stuff, and they don't want to do that, and they shouldn't, because there's no reward for them. There's nothing that they really get out of it. They just end up struggling to maintain a lifestyle that they shouldn't have to try to maintain in the first place. It's not their responsibility. That's not their battle to fight or try to, what are you trying to win? Because you're not winning. A lot of women don't realize that this is a disadvantage for a man. A man doesn't want to have to come in and take on you and your children. And that's a major responsibility. I don't think they realize the major responsibility that they're asking from these men. So I done went on a tangent, y'all. We're going to get into the video. But I say that because I think a lot of women have been programmed. A lot of women have been taught specifically by their mothers, that women, that men ain't really much. A lot of these women have taught their daughters to bash men and to uplift women. And when we talk about where did this come from, it's from your mothers primarily, because I will have to say that there are some men who teach their daughters to be independent women and don't trust the man. There are some men that teach their daughters that. So if you getting it from your mother and your father, it's not shocking as to why women think that way. But the majority of these women who are single mothers primarily were raised by single mothers. So initially, the majority of women have taught their daughters to be single women, independent. You don't need a man. And they've taught them to bash men and uplift women. So what I mean by that, and I want to get this out and then we're going to move to the video. So a lot of women, single mothers have taught their daughters that men ain't ish. They've told them, their stories and their experiences with men. And they've put this onto their daughters before their daughters have even had a chance to even date or meet any guy. They've programmed them to think that all men are the same and all men are just horrible. And so now but they never held any accountability on their part. See, this is why women are so entrenched in this, because their mothers told them how bad your father was, your daddy. He was a piece of shit and he wasn't around and he didn't do this. and this and that. And so as young people, as young girls, we're listening to this. We are not allowed to ask questions. We just have to listen. So they're constantly telling us that men are all the same. They don't do this. They're not reliable. They wasn't around to take care of you. I've been here the whole time. So it's made to bash the man and uplift the woman. And as young women, we gravitate to what our mothers say because we identify with her. We're going to turn into, young women like her. So we listen to what she say, and we internalize it without ever having an experience yet. But we're going based off of her experiences, what she's telling us, without hearing the other side. So this is why the majority of women are stuck in this idea that all men are the same. They're going to leave you and do this to you and do all this, when a lot of times these women haven't even experienced that. They haven't even gone through it. And when you go out into the world and you start dating, you already have a preconceived notion of what to expect from men based off what your mother said, without you have had any negative experiences with men at all. So subconsciously, you're going out and you're anticipating the negativity from a man based off of what your mother told you and trained you to think. But never once did she say, hey, I played a part in this. Women have to be accountable too. Hey, I wasn't the stellar woman out here. I was out here sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry. They don't tell you their parts. This is why women, if you look at the pattern of how women talk and how they move, how they think, you will see it, and just as clear as day. Y'all see it. You see it now. They never, anytime you ask a woman about her behavior, what does she do? She pivot to the man, because that's what's been ingrained in us as women, including myself. We've been taught this. My mother taught me this. She never talked about her behavior. It took me to get older and realize and start looking at her behavior and looking at the things that she's done and start to break that apart and realize, oh, okay. So it was not all on the man. You were hot to trot too. You were out here too. And then when you start to realize that, and now as an adult, when you start to address, they don't want to talk about it. Why you want to talk about that? They become defensive. Oh my God, just like we see in today's society. When you start talking about the behavior of women, what happens? They get mad. They get big mad. And they don't want to address it because they've been trained to not focus on their behavior, but to focus on the man's behavior. It's an entrenched thing that they've done to the young girls. They've trained us to look at the behavior of men, bash them, and uplift the women at all costs. Just uplift the women. Don't look at what they've done. Make excuses for their behavior. This is what we're seeing. I had to think about this because I was like, it came to my mind. I'm like, this is why so many women get agitated when you bring up them, because they have never been taught to look at or acknowledge their behavior, no matter how bad it is. Justify it. Justify it. Don't look at it. It don't matter, while condemning the man for every single little thing that he does, whether it's big or small. Just condemn him, bash because it's all his fault. Your decisions, your poor decision making is not yours. It's still his fault because he made you do it. Somebody made you make these choices. Somebody made you do it. It's been programmed into women to not take accountability. This is why it's going to be difficult for them to let go of that mindset, because it's been ingrained in them by their own mothers. The first person to tell them anything about a man comes typically from your mother. Your mother is the one, because I can remember I didn't have any experiences as a young child with a man. It's like the first things that I heard that was negative about a man came from my own mother. But I've never heard any accountability on her part. Never heard her say, hey, she did some things that she shouldn't have done, or, whatever. Never, ever to this day have never heard any accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. So if they don't go to the source and work that out with them and talk to, which you can't, because those women are stuck in their ways and they believe what they believe and they're not going to change. So if those women aren't going to change, our mothers and our grandmothers, you think these women are going to change? Probably not, because they really believe that, because it was ingrained in them since little girls that is the case. So you can't tell them nothing else. So this is why they continue to make horrible choices and blame others and don't see what's wrong, don't see why they're continuing to struggle and have these issues when it comes to relationships. It's going to be a difficult time trying to get these women to refrain from that type of thinking, because that's what they were taught, and they don't want to go against their mothers and their grandmothers. They hate to even address them or even talk to them about, because those women gonna shut it down. Look, I was on a whole public show where my mother was invited to come and talk about relationships between mothers and daughters, and she didn't want to do it. Had a whole met Oprah Winfrey, did the TD Jakes thing, and where they wanted to have her on the show to address the relationship between mothers and daughters, because there's a disconnect between mothers and daughters because of this very same thing. We were taught a certain thing by our mothers, and our mothers have not dealt with their trauma and their issues, and all they do is pass it down instead of dealing with it and learning to do better. They pass that trauma down to their daughters. You give them bad advice, and then now they're stuck in that, and the ones who realize it, are struggling to get out of it and change their mentality because they want better. They don't want to have to go through the same struggles that their mothers went through. But if our mothers and our grandmothers aren't even honest about it, then we can't even, it strains the relationship between mothers and daughters, because they are still stuck on what they believe, and they don't want to hear anything else. They don't want to learn nothing new. They don't want to hear what you have to say. So you rather avoid it, which when we look at a lot of these conversations and the women who are struggling with this, they don't want to talk about it. They wish podcasters would just shut up. They wish any podcaster that's talking about relationships and accountability on women, they just want to mute them. Because once again, you want to avoid it because you don't want to address it, because you don't feel or believe that you should change anything. So that's why it's going to be a problem. And so, there are people out here and it's not just women. There are men who have terrible relationships with their mothers, not on their part, because the mothers are stuck in their own way of thinking, and they don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They don't want to do anything differently because they hate to face the fact that they were wrong about some things. We're not always right. And I don't understand, but that's their way of thinking. And once you get old and settled in that, they ain't gonna change. So you can't change them. You can't really teach them anything because they believe what they believe and they don't care what you can't really say nothing. But the thing about it is they don't realize how that is affecting their children, and how that'll affect their children's children, and how it trickles down, and how it just continues to be a negative effect on on each generation with that, if they keep that same mentality. So this is going to be a difficult thing to change. Once again, I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, we've been trained to hate men before we even had any encounters with men. It's in our heads. You notice, if you ever get in a relationship, if you've ever been in a relationship with a woman, she's very negative. She don't know how to be positive. All she sees is the negative. She sees you before she even gets to know you. Just let that marinate. She sees you in a certain way before she even gets to know you. She already has preconceived notions about you before she even gets to know you. So she's coming into this thing already thinking, oh yeah, he's no good. He gonna cheat on me. He gonna pop me up, give me a baby, and then he gonna leave. I mean, believe it or not, this was actually something that was told to me. That my husband was gonna leave me with 3 kids at the time. I had 2 and was pregnant with the 3rd one. And at that time, my mother literally told me, "Oh, he gonna leave you with them 3 kids." I'm like, "No, that's what you assume because you've never dealt with a good man. You've only dealt with the pookie types. So you expect." Listen to me clearly. You expect that every man is going to do what was been done to you. That's how a lot of these modern women think. That's why I get it. I get it. Oh, I get it. I get it 100%. I know how they think because it's literally been told to me. So they they don't, those types of women do not think that good men exist. This is why I have an issue when women say all men, because I know, just say your experiences. Stop saying all men, just say your experience, the men that you've experienced, because that's not the experience for other women. So this is how I know it's real, because they really in their head believe that this is the nature of all men, that men don't really care about their children. Men don't really, want to be with a woman and be there for her and take care of her. But see, the gag is every man is not the same, baby. And you would think these older women would get it, but it don't matter the age. They be old and dumb. So the problem with it is, and why, and I'm just giving you a little personal, and it's not my first time saying this. The thing is, this is what strains the relationship between mothers and daughters, and even sons and their mothers as well. Because when you get to see the relationship over here, it's mind-boggling to her. She can't fathom, she can't understand, she can't comprehend what she's seeing. So initially you can hurt, you can insult, insult, guilt, and the need to be right? First, you can insult it and try to minimize it, what she's done. This insult, guilt, and need to be right stuff, I've lived it. This is why I get it. This is why it resonated with me so much when I heard Kevin Samuels, because that's exactly how my mother is and was. Exactly to the T. And not just her, other women in my family as well. So when you see that, when I saw that, it hit me like, damn, I get it. And see, I'm not afraid to acknowledge it, but a lot of women are afraid to acknowledge that it came from their mothers. Their mothers that messed them up. They hate to acknowledge it because it's hurtful. When you first realize that, it's a painful thing. So nobody wants to dive into that because it's hurtful first, to think that your own mother will give you wrong information or hate on you or, be jealous of you. That's not an easy thing, an easy pill to swallow. So I get why women are hurt, and they don't, and the first thing they can do is start insulting the situation or try to minimize it, try to make it less than what it is, because it somehow makes them feel better. So when you see a relationship playing out that you've never seen before, that you've spoke against, that you've said, all men ain't this, and they don't care about no babies, and they're not proud of their children being born. This is the kind of stuff that I've heard within my own family. Oh, men ain't caring about being there for their children. Men don't care about being at the hospital and see their child being born. This is the stuff that I've heard. But this is also the stuff that person did not experience. So you didn't experience a loving man who was happy to see his children come into the world. You didn't experience a man who was there taking care of his wife, and first off, who married her and taking care of her and supporting her and being there and loving and really care and really doing the job, really doing the protecting and providing for real. You didn't see that, so you didn't think that it existed. Then when you're seeing it play out right in front of you, you're mad. Big mad. Big mad. So you try to insult it. You try everything that you can. You try to say things that will try to break that up, because you couldn't fathom that there were good men out here in the world, because you've never experienced it. But also, you didn't put yourself in a position to experience it. If you're running around here just sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry, and you're just having situationships and hookups, how are you going to ever get to meet a good guy? Because you're not putting yourself in a position to attract the kind of guy that you say don't exist. So of course you're going to think that's what it is, because that's all you've seen. So if that's all you've seen, that's all you believe that exists, and that's all you keep running into. But one thing you're forgetting to add is that you are not the stellar woman that you think you are. You are not stellar, so you're attracting less than stellar dudes. If you're out here running around opening your legs to Tom, Dick, and Harry and just doing whatever and making excuses for it, do you think the men who are going to be providers and protectors and good men who want a woman to be with her and be in her life is going to come to you when they see you just a toss around? How does Anika say it? Well, you're a past me. Well, how does she say it, y'all? What does she say? You a past me. You're not a pick me, because they try to call married women pick me's. You're not a pick me. You're a pass me by. I forget how she said. How she said, y'all? She said you a pass me or something, but she's right. And so you're mad because the women who are getting picked actually have something stable. And you don't want to accept the fact that you put yourself in the position to be a pass me by, or however how she put it, y'all. Pass me chick. She put herself in that position to be that, and then get mad when you see others, including your own daughters, who've made different decisions to better her situation so that she can do better than what she's seen you do. No, we're not supposed to do that. Baby, I'm going to get into the video. I'm going to get into the video in a second, baby, but I just had to think about this. So you hate your own daughters because your daughters have chosen to do something better than what you chose to do. Instead of you looking at that and being inspired by your own daughters and say, you know what, I'm glad she's doing better than me. No, you think it's a competition. But it's not a competition, because you made your choice. You made your bed. You had to lie in it. You know, you got the outcomes of your own, you know, what you put out there. And because I and others have chosen that, hey, we don't want to live this struggle life as a single mother and just sit here and just be struggling and crying and complaining and don't know what to do, barely could take care of these children. No, we chose something different. They mad at us. They mad at us for it. And as a mother, why would I be mad at my daughter or jealous of my daughter for choosing better? Shouldn't parents want better for their children? I don't understand. And this is the connection to why a lot of women and their daughters and mother and daughter relationships are so jacked up nowadays. These women are out here still trying to compete with their daughters, but without acknowledging that their own faults and why they are in the positions that they are in. This is why accountability is so key. It goes beyond just, you know, these talking points. It's real life. I've experienced this from my own mother, and it wasn't a pretty sight. You know, it took me a while to get past that, you know, and there is resentment there because you it's like you tried to sabotage me. You tried to tell me what my husband was what he wasn't gonna do, or that he wasn't a good man, and it didn't work because he is a good man. He wasn't, and I'm like, nah, he's not that type of guy. Just because you had, you know, all these children and never had a man there for you and your children, we had to suffer because of it. That don't mean that that's the kind of man that I have. So listen, when you've experienced the ultimate disrespect from the person that's supposed to be closest to you, your own mother, what these hyenas are saying ain't ish, baby, because I get it. They ain't saying nothing that I have never heard. This whole pick me, I've heard it real close from a person real close to me. So what you're saying, I get it. It's out of hurt. It's out of pain. It's out of the fact that you didn't choose the right things. And now you're just, you know, bashing other people out of hurt. It comes from a hurt place. I get it. Oh, I get it. So that's why I say I understand as a woman where it's coming from, because I was taught that way, but something in me knew I didn't want that. And so you got to make changes. That's why I say the way you think controls your behavior, controls what you do. So in order for you to do something differently, you got to change the way you think. And as long as you keep that same mental process that have been taught to you, that has been ingrained in you, you're never going to make any better decisions. And this is why you see these women keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, constantly blaming the men, blaming the men, blaming the men. And it's not benefiting you, because you have to take accountability to change your mindset. And I know it's difficult because I know where it came from. So I get it. I get it. Successful MD says people are supposed to be wiser as they age and not be bitter. Running from reality should be exhausting, a sad way to live, recycled with no value. Exactly. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. Exactly. You know, and so that's why I hope that the women who watch this, who may be offended, I don't want you to get offended. I want you to take heed to it. I don't want you to be bitter or angry or mad or look at it as bashing, because That's a way out. That's a way to not focus on what is actually happening, because it's not going to benefit you. As long as you're bitter and angry, that's not going to yield you the results that you are looking for. And once again, I always say, look, if you are not a woman or a person, just say person. If you are not a person who wants anything better, you don't want change, you're happy with where you are, then this message wouldn't be for you. It's not for you. It's not to people who are happy in where they are and you have no qualms about your life. You're happy. You don't need a man. You don't want one. And you're content with your life the way it is. Then this message wouldn't be for you. It's for the ones who are out here actively looking for someone and complaining because they can't find the type of man they feel or think that they deserve, or thinking that all men should be a certain way. You're having problems finding that because you are not exuding the things that you're asking for. If you want a man who's whole, at peace, and all these things, then you can't be angry and bitter because you're asking for something that you are not. You attract what you are. If you're angry, bitter, you don't realize that people can read energy. Your energy is showing who you are. The way you talk, what you talk about, how you talk about it, all of that shows where you are. Your energy shows where you are at mentally. When you start talking and you open your mouth and the things that you talk about, that can tell you a whole lot about a person. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that they're just looking for what they want and not realizing you got a lot of work to do yourself, and you got a lot of soul searching. You got a lot of things you need to tap into within yourself and with your mothers and your grandmothers, all them people, or your fathers, some of them who have taught you these things that does not benefit you or is helpful in the things that you are looking for today. So that's why I say it lies within the women to do a lot of work, because they've never been told that they had to do the work. See, men already know that they had to improve because they've been telling men for years, oh, you need to level up. You need to do this. No woman don't want no bum. Women, you need to be productive. You need to be productive. You need to do this. You need to do it. Men have always been told that. See, women have never been told that they need to be productive, and never told them what they needed to do to be wives or be good people or good one. Everybody is giving them a pass. They've never been told. It's always been the men. Men realize that they have to do something. They know that if they sit how they always say, sit in the basement, eating Cheetos, fat as ever, just sitting there thinking you're going to get a top 10 woman, they know that that ain't going to happen, because they know that the responsibility is on them to provide, protect, and do all these things. Women, it's expected from them. They know this. They know that they're expected to be the breadwinners. They're expected to produce. But nobody's ever told women that what they were expected to do, what they were expected to produce, what they were expected to do. There's never been an expectation on what women were supposed to do. So this is why this is all a shock to them, and they can't believe it. Oh my God, I got to do something? I thought my vagina was enough. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Definitely hit the like button to help the channel. I'll make sure you have 90. We have 119 watching, 95 likes. Go ahead and get the likes up. Get the likes up to help your girl out. So yeah, there was never no expectation. This is why when you ask me, well, what do you bring to the table? Oh, I bring me. I am the table. It makes sense. There was never anything expected from women. So now that they're hearing this, it's a shock to their system. Oh my God, I'm supposed to be doing shit? Why? After all this time, why? I thought my vagina was enough. So this is a shock to them. They don't understand it because they were raised and taught, ingrained, programmed to think a certain way. To look at men as somebody, look at men as the problem, and look at women to, look to uplift. You're always supposed to uplift women, uplift the woman, uplift the woman. The men are the problem. The men are the problem. Just bash them because we've been told that they're the problem. They're the problem. So you look for that. You invite that because you already expect it. This is also why when women meet men who are not traumatized and not toxic, they don't know what to do that, because that's beyond the scope of what they were taught. That's nothing like what their mothers told them to look for in a man. So something's gotta be wrong with him. You mean a guy who's respectful and treats you right? He ain't cussing, he ain't belittling you, he not giving you what you were taught to expect. So now you think this is too good to be true. Too good to be true. Something must be wrong with him. He's too nice. I'm not used to that. If I'm lying, I'm flying. This is how women think. He's too good to be true. This is why women don't trust a good guy, a guy who seems good and respectful and nice. And he knows how to hold a conversation with you without every word a cuss word. He's not a thug. He's not none of the things that you were taught to expect from a man. These women run like the wind because they scared of that, because that is not what I was told to expect. And my mother would not lie to me. My grandmother would not lie to me. They told me the truth. So it must mean something. Something is wrong with, oh, he must be gay. Or he a psychopath. He might cut me up into little pieces because he's nice to you. And he's not, but that's the reasoning behind it. They were ingrained and programmed to think that men are all the same and they all got issues. So this is why you hear women say, I don't, I met a nice guy. He was attractive. He was everything, but I just didn't feel right with him. That feeling is in the back of your head, what your mothers and your grandmothers told you. That's not what you should expect from a man. This is what you expect. So this is part of the reason why a lot of women pass up good guys. They don't trust that behavior. They go to what's familiar to them and what's been taught to them, and to only complain about it, because see, that's your expectations. That's what you know to be real from what your mother and your grandmothers told you. So you keep going to that to complain about it, knowing that it's bad. So this is where you get all black men are the same. They all ain't shit. That's because that's what you're used to. Bottom line, I don't care what nobody said. I've been told this stuff and they were wrong. And because they were wrong, they don't want to fool with you. You know what I mean? There's no real relationship there, because you can't believe your lying eyes. You can't believe, or you don't want to accept the fact that the things that you taught me growing up were invalid for my situation. They were invalid for my situation. Now, that was your situation. That's on you. That's not everybody's experience. So you can't take your trauma and your experiences and your bad choosing and put that on everybody else or every black man, and tell your daughters and tell them that all black men ain't ish. And you have sons, so your sons are hearing this too. So they're confused as to, hey, I don't want to be put in that category. So these young men got to grow up with the expectation that this is how they're going to be looked at, how women are going to look at them in this negative light when they haven't even done anything. So they got to think about it from a male's perspective. The men got to come up in this whole society too with the idea that, hey, I'm looked at and I'm perceived as a threat. I'm perceived as something negative. I'm perceived as a bad man, and I ain't even do nothing yet. So this is why you hear women also say, oh, a man has to prove himself. Is it making sense now? He has to do all the proving because they've already been entrenched and ingrained with a negativity, a negative preconceived notion about black men. So now men have to prove themselves, while these women who have been combative and have been taught this combative nature don't have to prove themselves whatsoever, because they're like pure innocent. They could do whatever they want and not be looked at. But you have to prove yourself because they've already perceived you as something negative. And it's unfortunate, but that has been taught to women. This is why it's a hard battle for them to see anything other than that. And even in the midst of you seeing good men and good women, black women in good relationships with good black men, these women will still try to insult it, try to belittle it, try to bring it down, try to make it something it's not. What do you hear? All these women who've been taught this, they say the same thing over and over and over. Oh, these married women, marriage ain't nothing. These women are in horrible marriages. They're single mothers in a marriage. That's their way of insulting something that they know they can't have, without ever taking any accountability that they were taught wrong and they've chosen wrong and they're stuck there. So if you can't get what you see or know to be something productive and something deemed great, you bash it, you insult it. That's all you can do, because you don't want to believe that that is something that's good. So you got to trash it to make yourself feel better about your choices and what you've been taught, and also make you feel good about continuing to believe what you were taught and accepting it and not trying to do anything differently. Which taking accountability is the first step. You don't want to do that because you don't want to believe that what you were taught it was wrong. So you bash the thing that you see that looks good, but it can't be good. Question it, because all men are like this. If you're in a relationship, he seems good up front, well, just wait. He gonna turn into the devil. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. He seems good. He's treating you nice. He respects you. He seems to care about you. He wants to marry you. He want to build with you, but that's all a facade. Just wait. He's gonna turn on you and become this devil and tear your life apart. This is what women think of all men. And a lot of them, you cannot change that perception because it's been ingrained. If you want somebody to really believe, you start when they're young. And if you've been taught this since you were a child, it's ingrained in you. When you become an adult, oh man, it's a lost cause. It's going to be difficult to try to get that type of mentality out of these women because they believe it. No matter, they can go to their grave being single women, bitter and angry, and that's just what'll happen because they don't want to accept anything else, even though they've seen. You might see other successful relationships. That's why married women can't come on here and talk about their experiences, because some woman who's been entrenched and programmed to believe otherwise gonna find a problem with it. Gonna say, oh, she's probably struggling, and oh my God, he's probably treating her bad. You don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. No, you don't. But why you always assume negative? You can't fathom that it's actually a positive situation and that they're thriving and they really care about each other and they're working it out. And once again, I like to say this for the people in the back. Hey, marriage is work. It's not nothing's perfect. People have flaws. That's the thing too. And you would think these types of women would understand that, but they don't. Because they've been told that the men ain't shit and the women, there's nothing you say about them, nothing negative. So they're coming into it like, oh, I'm perfect, but he's all flawed and he got to do all the proving and he got to do all the work while you don't see yourself. And so if he's improving and he's doing better, what are you doing? You're just sitting there coasting, not realizing that you have flaws and you have trauma and you have things you haven't worked on either. But he's supposed to be able to accept that and you not accept him, even though he's working on himself and changing. That's why relationships can't work, because it's a one-sided deal, because these women have been programmed to think a certain way towards men, and especially Black men. And then they go out here and think that they're going to divest. And then a lot of these women are divesting to other races of men. And you realize, no, that these men got issues too. And you got issues too. So you're not going to do any better over there, because you're just going to become more and more traumatized and more bitter because you can't seem to get what it is you want, because ultimately the problem leads back to you. Period. Successful MD says women abroad want to be married before 30. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. So, yeah, they want to be married, but they don't have the first clue of what marriage is. And the expectations from a man in marriage is the same as it is in dating. He has to be perfect. He has to do everything right according to you. He has to level up and be the best thing since sliced bread for you. And you don't have to be nothing but a vagina sitting there waiting. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to work on your trauma. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be present. And that's a mistake. So we're going to go ahead and get into this video, y'all. I done went on a tangent. I just had to get that out because I was thinking about that. And I'm like, this is why a lot of women think the way they think. And it's not helping them. It's not helping them whatsoever. And you know how people vote against their own interests. Well, it's the same thing with dating. A lot of these women will go against the thing that will help them because they wholeheartedly believe what they've been told and they don't see it any other way. So even though it's not benefiting them, they're going to still just go with it. That's how it is, in politics. People are, out here. I see Black women out here talking about they're going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's Black. The lady ain't even Black. So you're going to vote for her without any, you don't care about her record. You don't care about the things that she's done or the lack thereof. Oh, is she qualified? You don't care. You're just going to vote for her because she has dark skin. Oh, because she was an AKA. Oh, because she's this. Oh, because she was that. Oh, you just gonna blindly vote for her because she looked like us when this woman didn't even claim to be black. She doesn't claim being black. She's Indian and something else, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to relationships. But a lot of these women that I hear talking about this, they're thinking the same way they think when it comes to relationships. So this it's the same thought process. Voting for somebody because they look like you. Not about what they stand for, not about how they can help better your situation. And once again, the whole Democrat and Republican thing is because most black people have always voted democratically because your mamas and your grandmamas mamas and your grandfathers all voted Democrat because they're black. It's ingrained in you. Once again, you're ingrained and you're trained to think that that's the way you're supposed to vote, no matter what the person brings to the table. That's how you're supposed to vote. The same way they look at men, you're ingrained to think that black men are horrible, black men are bad. So we have to put them to the test. They have to prove themselves while we could just sit back and be just as flawed as all outdoors. It's to me, it's equivalent when it comes to the way we think in politics. Oh, Democrat is the way to go, no matter if they've running the country into the ground. Oh, just vote Democrat because you're black and that's what you've been taught to do. You've been programmed to go that way, even if it's not working for you. They're not trying to put any policies in place to better the black community or help black people, but let's just vote for them anyway because that's what we've been taught. We've been programmed to do that, and we're black and we're supposed to be Democrat. Let's vote that way. Same thing. It's an entrenched thought process that we've been taught and programmed to do no matter what the circumstances are. That's just what it is. That's how it goes. So once again, it goes back to the way you think. It goes back to your mentality, what you've been trained to do, and realizing that you have to take some accountability, realizing that is not benefiting you. Just going off of what everything that you was told and taught does not mean that it's the best option for you. But we've been programmed a certain way, and others have benefited off that. And they know exactly how to target us. They know exactly what to say to us. They know exactly what we want and what we gravitate to, and use that against us. Throw a party, play sexy red. That's what they seem to like. Oh, just give them something, make them shake their ass. Give them something to make them have fun. Have fun. That's what they want to do. Black people just want to have fun. Give them something to make them have fun. And they're like putty in our hands. We're gonna give them what they want. And they're gonna do what we want, and it works every single time. Now you got women out here running around talking about, this is the way to go. This is, it's crazy, but it's a mentality. Once again, it's a programming. That's just how it go. But let's get back into this, y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. Thank y'all. So yeah, that's just that. So that's just food for thought. When you see these women complain, know that it's coming from a place of trauma and pain and a lack of accountability or acknowledgement for being taught these things that doesn't benefit these women for the things that they say they want. So it is hard for anything that's been taught and ingrained in you. It's going to be hard for you to change that because it started from a kid. We've been hearing this stuff from a child. So it's going to take a lot of changing that mentality. But let's go ahead and get into the video. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Here we go. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, you guys. Hit the like button, hit the like button.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Shay.
Hi. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I was just laying down about to go to sleep. Oh my God.
What's your name, Shay? Where you calling me from, Shay?
Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit. How old are you?
34 or 35.
She had to take a
I can't
guess
believe it.
about her own age.
Okay.
Oh my God. I can't believe it.
All right, let's try it. Shay, 34. Where you calling me from?
Detroit, Michigan.
I'm sorry. I had to respond to a text. I apologize. Shay, Detroit, Michigan. 34. What's your zodiac sign?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Do you have any children?
2.
Two kids. How old are your kids?
13 and 6.
And 6. Okay, 13 and 6. Both by the same man?
No, 2.
No. 2 men. Have you ever been married?
No.
No. And what do you do for a living, Shay?
Um, in Detroit, so it's like based.
Is she all here? Hold
Say what,
on.
honey?
Is she all here? Like she seems like she's loopy or something. Like what's going on? She don't seem like she's all the way here, like present. Like is something okay? Is she okay? Am I tripping? Don't she seem like she like either she can't hear her or something? Something, I'm just observing. Don't seem like she all the way there. But let's continue.
Automotive industry.
Automotive.
So plant based. I don't know what the automotive industry.
I'll just say the automotive industry.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Shay, 34, Sagittarius, Detroit, Michigan, works in the automotive industry. Mom of 2 kids, by 2 men, never married. What kind of woman you looking for?
Woman.
I'm sorry. What kind of man are you looking for? That's my apology. What kind of man are you looking for?
Yeah, they looking for women now too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird because I'm looking for someone with
Her sound
ready to get married and things like
ready
that.
to get
Like
married,
I
girl.
was.
Your phone's going in and out,
Yeah,
Shay.
you can't hear a child.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry.
She all over the place, honey. Y'all should be ready when y'all
Okay.
go on the
What
show.
kind of man you looking for?
I'm looking for a man that's
Girl,
like
she need to get it together. Jesus Christ. Lord, that's what be making my nerves bad when I be watching these Kendra G videos. Get y'all shit together. Like y'all come on here, Lord. Make sure y'all got y'all lighting right. Make sure your microphone is working. Like get it together. She seemed throw off. Like what is going on, Lord? She didn't even know her own age. Jashawn Page says, "How you D? You have something on your top lip. What? Huh? What? What do you mean? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Jashawn, you paid a super chat for that. Thank you. I don't see nothing. What? I don't see nothing. You talking about my mole? Thank you for the super chat, baby. Um Anthony Wise says cocaine is a hell of a drug. Wait. Y'all funny. All right, let's continue.
ready to get married and be in a relationship.
Okay.
I was in a relationship with someone in prison for like 3 years, and I just like he just got out and he's not producing what he said he was, so
Girl, no shit.
I'm kind of stuck between the rock and the hard place.
No shit, Sherlock. What? I'm sorry. No shit, Sherlock. Girl, what the hell? It's laughable because it's like, come on now. Why would you expect Prison Bay to produce? I'm just saying. I learned this as a child. Like, oh my God. If he's going in and out of jail, child, that's you can't be trusted. Well, you should not date prison bays. Come on now. What is going on? It's something out here in the water, I tell you. They put something in the hair weave because a lot of these women are really just acting like they throw off and like they don't have an ounce of sense, like even an ounce. Like what? So a man in prison told you he gonna give you the world. When he get out, child, he gonna get you a house. He gonna do all this shit for you, and how you gonna do it? And then when he get out, child, you don't see nothing. And you fell for that? Where the smarts at? Like, where's the education and all of these women who are so educated and so smart, and all the men are the problem? Like, what? Oh Lord, this is laughable. It's laughable. Successful MD says she's been giving him her monthly checks. You know, and Successful MD, God forgive me, please. I'm sorry, ma'am. If you ever watch this, I don't know, but please clarify. Do you get monthly checks? Because you know something. And I hope you ain't been giving them your monthly checks. I'm just saying. It's just mind-boggling. For real. I don't get it, but child, let's continue.
Was he one of your kids' dads?
No.
No. Did y'all date before he went to prison?
No.
So you met him while he was in prison?
Yes.
And y'all decided to date for 3 years?
Yes.
And when did he get out?
He got out November of last year.
And what happened once he got out?
He got out, like once he got out, it was all like roses and stuff, you know, had butterflies. We just meeting for the first time and everything. Like it was all good. Like everything was good. And then it's like he got out and then everything was out.
So
Everything
how
went
long,
down.
when did it turn south after he got out? Like how long before it went south?
Okay. He got out November.
Girl.
His out date was November 3rd. So I met him. I flew down there. I flew
Oh,
down.
it was not even in your city.
No, it was out of state.
How did you meet him in prison and start dating him?
We just met on Facebook.
Prison? They got Facebook in prison?
Yes, they got a lot of in prison. Like,
So y'all met on Facebook and you knew he was in prison.
I didn't at first,
Girl.
but then after we started talking, then he let me know that he was in prison. So
Girl,
yeah.
girl, that should have been end of the
guys were-
conversation. End of the okay, you met on Facebook. That's how people meet nowadays. Girl, as soon as he said he was in prison, that should have been the end of the conversation. Okay, no, you know, nice meeting you. I gotta go. No, thank you. That should have been the end of the conversation. No, she proceeded. Once he told her he was in prison, she kept going. That should have been the end of the conversation right there. First off, you don't know this man from Adam. You meet him on Facebook. You don't know nothing about him, and he in prison too. Like what? What are you doing? What are you doing? That shows you there's a level of desperation in some of these women. How desperate they would go. I mean, it's a common thing now. People are getting prison bays. They're getting prison bays. They're picking men in prison to make babies with and everything, baby. It is a real thing. I was shocked to see that. These educated, smart women are going to the prisons. They saying that is where the good men at, y'all. They saying the good men are locked up and they going to get them. I ain't even making this up. It's a real thing. It's insanity to me. I don't understand, child. But meanwhile, on the ranch, average men out here ain't good enough. Average men out in productive society ain't good enough. Oh, you don't make enough money. You ain't this, you ain't that. But y'all would prefer to go to prison and get you a man? It's insanity. Somebody that you gotta pay for, because he gonna want money on them books, but you gonna put money on them books for him out of your checks, your monthly checks. But men productively out here working in society, average men ain't good enough. A man who drives trucks or is a garbage collector or damn shit, plumbers and all that, it's not good enough for these women. Plumbers, bus drivers, they're not good enough. But you're gonna skip all these average productive men in society who are taking care of themselves. You're gonna go to the prisons. Something ain't right.
In a committed relationship.
Right. No, not when we first started talking.
Say again?
I said no, not when we first started talking. He didn't let me know.
No, but I'm asking you, so you were in a committed relationship with him for 3 years, so you didn't talk to no other men?
Oh.
No.
No.
Did you meet him? Did you go visit him while he was in prison?
No.
So you were committed to a man you never met in person?
Yeah. Well, I talked to him like, phone calls, video calls, like we was on the phone like 24/7 on the phone every day. Like he had a
Why
phone in
couldn't you
prison.
visit him in prison?
I'm in Detroit and he was in Atlanta.
So you weren't able to go visit him in prison?
No.
And you didn't want to date anybody else while for that 3 years?
No.
Okay. Okay, so now he got out and you guys
Mm-hmm.
met in person for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And when did things change?
I think it's after he got out and cause he did 15 years.
For what, girl?
Okay.
What
So
did
I'm
he ask for,
thinking like he
Kendra?
got out and he got a
Girl, what he did 15 years in the pen for? Girl, what did he do? Something is not all there. Like I said, 15, he did 15 years for what? And you was comfortable enough to be his woman while he locked up? You don't know shit about him. I wonder if she knows what he did. I want to know. It wouldn't matter, but goddamn, this is a real thing. And this just goes against everything that the majority of these women try to say, complain about men and what they want from a man and all this. When you go into the prisons to get you a man. Let's continue. I hope she tell us what he was in there for. I would love to know. Ask her, Kendra.
taste of like the outside world. And
Absolutely.
you said what?
I said, absolutely. If he's been locked up for
Oh,
15 years, you
right,
know.
right. So I'm thinking that's what it is. Like he
So
got
he
out
doesn't
and
want, so was it his call? He doesn't want to be in a committed relationship anymore?
he still said he do.
Okay. But you're ready to move on.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now you want a man that's ready to get married.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
No, baby, you got to get some
Okay. This is a
therapy.
lot. I'm
Yeah,
trying
it
to.
is. You don't need a man at this point, baby. You got to go find yourself. Go. I mean, go do what Tia is doing. Go try to find yourself first, because for you to go to the jails to get a man who's been locked up for 15 years, thinking that you're gonna have a productive relationship with him, is mind-boggling to me. And it's now you want a man, a husband. It seems like maybe you don't understand how relationships work, or you got some trauma or something that would allow you to do stuff like this. Maybe you need to go find yourself, work on yourself. When you find yourself, slap yourself a few times, and then wake yourself up, and then get some counseling, get some help, get your mind right first, figure out who you are and what you really want and what you should be doing as a wife if you want a husband, and try to find more productive things to do with your time, so that you can build up some sense in you, so that you'll know how to go and find the right guys, because otherwise you'll be back out here looking for another prisoner to be your husband. I mean, what's stopping you from thinking that you can go back to the prison to get you a husband? Like, come on. Like, this is insane. But women don't need to work on themselves. So it ain't the problem, right? They know how to pick them real good. Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm just trying to understand.
And I'm
So
from a different country and stuff like that. So it's very weird. Very weird.
okay, what are your did I ask you your deal breakers?
No.
Okay, what are your deal breakers?
My deal breakers are um oh, everybody say the same things. So I wouldn't say a liar, because I've been dealing with liars my whole life, so I could deal with that.
You could deal with a lot.
My thing, people who can't communicate. Like, don't communicate with me. Like, don't tell me or don't talk to me. That's number one, communication. Communicate with me. let me know how you feeling. Let me know what you thinking and things like that. 2 is procrastination because I do procrastinate a lot. So I would say procrastination. Another thing is being on time for stuff.
Being on time.
Another thing.
Wait,
Yeah.
I skipped. That was your oh, the things. What'd you just answer? I asked you the 3 flaws.
Exactly. Yeah, you did skip a few because I watch you all the time. So you skip
Yeah,
a
why?
few
How did I
questions.
get there? I don't even know how I did. I ask you that question? Okay, I didn't mean to. Did I? No,
Yeah.
I think I asked you your deal breakers.
Yeah, you
Okay.
did.
All right. Does he have to look a certain way?
Yes. Attractive. I would like for him to be. I like a beard. So I like a guy with a beard. I love a beard. A full beard. Like all that. A full beard.
Okay.
Big beard.
Okay.
And taller than me. I'm about 5'2". So long as you taller than me, you don't gotta be 6 feet. But just be taller than me.
Okay. And
And
oh, I'm sorry.
oh, okay. And I don't mind the size because I done had big and small, so either or is okay. And be attractive. Good teeth. I like the teeth.
What she mean big and
Okay.
small?
All right. Um, what about money? Should he make a certain amount of money?
Money. Okay, let's get to the money. So I'm from Detroit. I ain't rich or nothing, so I don't got a lot of money myself. So if you make at least about 50, 60, and we could work together and come together and we could get it bigger, man, I'm cool with that. Like, I don't care what you make. Long as we happy together, we good.
Okay.
Right?
I got this question for you. Little double I said, would you date another man from prison? L double I.
Yeah, long as they ain't sending, long as they not
Yeah.
selling me a
Girl,
drink,
girl,
because I think
girl. Oh my God. Didn't I call it? Didn't I say it? Oh my God. Didn't I say it? I said she'll marry, she'll go look for another. Oh, thank you, Lord. I got some sense in this head. Lord have mercy. This lady said, I said this girl need to get some therapy because she gonna go and try to find her husband from prison. Oh my God, didn't I say that? Oh my God, I knew it. I mean, I told. Oh Lord, you know what I'm saying? And women want to talk about this intuition. They don't be realizing it, baby. Y'all not paying attention. I said this girl will go look for a husband in prison. She need to get some help. Girl, you don't learn. You're not learning. You're not. It's not all registering. Oh my God, I said it. I knew it. There's your intuition for your child, girl. This girl, Lord, please help her, Lord. Help her, Lord. Direct her, Lord. Lord, give her some wisdom and some guidance, Lord. She needs it. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. I want better for our women, but I can't. I can only want it. I can't make you want it. You gotta want it too, and you gotta go towards it. Lord, I said it. She'll be looking for a husband, another husband. She'll be looking for that husband in the prison cells, in the walls of the prisons. I said it. I said it. I called it. Damn it. You're not learning from your mistakes. Why would you even go? Another red flag. She said she been used to liars all her life, so she's used to it. So lie to her. She gonna. I'm got a video coming out where I talk about women like liars. They want to be lied to. The lie is much easier to digest and accept. So that doesn't surprise me. She said she's been lied to her whole life. So I welcome the liars, and that's what you keep getting. In the prison bay liars. The intuition is on lifetime layaway at Goodwill. Child. Successful MD. Thank you. Girl, Lord, I called it. I can't believe it. I knew it. I knew it. You don't learn. You keep going to the same well. thinking that you're going to get something else out of it other than what you've been getting. Why, if this man got out, he don't want to be with you, use you, the prison bae use you, you gonna go back? As long as he not selling me a dream, but at the same time, you welcome liars. So how do you know if you're gonna be selling you a dream or not? He can lie as long as he make the lie sound good. It's okay with you. You're not learning, baby. You gotta learn from your mistakes, honey. You can't keep doing the same shit, expecting a different result. Baby, I called it. I'm proud of myself. Let's continue.
My last, I ain't even gonna say my last, but he was like, I was so like, he had me so synced in. Like, I thought like he was gonna give me the world when he got out. I don't want to get emotional, but I thought he was gonna give me the world. I lost everything dealing with him, and then
How did you lose everything dealing with him?
hmm,
Oh, she's trauma. She's hurt. She's hurt.
that's
Oh, she's hurt. She's hurt. And this is that hurt and that trauma that a lot of these women speak of. This is the hurt and the trauma that they speak of. This is the, I'm getting like Umar Johnson. I got to say it 3 goddamn times. This is the hurt and the drama these women speak of. I had to say it 3 times to make it make sense, to get it out. This is what they speak of. You give your all to the last drop of what you have to these pookies in prison. And then they hurt you because you really believe. Somebody said it ain't a lie if you believe it. Right. But why do you believe it? That's the thing. You give your all to the prison pookies. And you really believe with the lies that they were selling you. And it really hit you hard. It hit you to the core. You really believed it. And then when he didn't show up, you're distraught, you're traumatized, and then they go bitter. All men ain't shit. They all would do you dirty. No, you went to prison bae. Girl, who in their right mind would accept prison bae? Why would I believe that prison bae who been locked up for 15 years is going to give me the world? How? With what? Where the money coming from? What he got? Prison receipts? What? How you gonna get you? How you gonna give you the world? How you gonna give you the world, girl? How you gonna give you the world? How you gonna give you the world? How you gonna give you all this shit? Where you getting it from? You've been locked up for 15 years. When you get out of prison, if I'm not mistaken, I never dealt with a prison bae, so I don't know. So if you've been to jail, you got a prison record? Don't you have to do things to like establish yourself and get your work on yourself? Now I understand working on yourself. Don't you have a prison record? Don't employers and stuff look at that stuff? So don't you have to figure out ways to build yourself up and work somewhere where they're not checking your prison record, or just get yourself to a better? Don't you have to work on that? So how's he gonna give you the world? He can't give himself shit. Where he got to depend on somebody to stay with when he get out of prison. How he gonna give you the world out of jail? What you was expecting? It's just mind-boggling. It really is. To me, it is. I never understood it, and I never will. I never will. And they're confusing those men with men, productive men in society who are working hard. You would think that these women would run to a man who got a 9-to-5. You think you would be running accepting of that man to work with him, because after this it's like, what are you? Come on now, how did you got to be so naive? And this is why I say a lot of women need a lot of work, and there are a lot of women out here like this. This may not be everyone, but there are a lot of women who think this way and really believe this stuff, and it really hurts them, and it really hit them to the core. And those are the ones that are crying and complaining like, oh, these men just took advantage of me. I mean, you didn't see that. I get it. But Lord, don't think that every man out here is like that. And it's interesting that they don't see it. Like, let's continue.
Okay, if you don't want to share, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's just like, because I was just like, he was just like, when I get out, I got this, I got that, I got this to give you. He made me promise a lot of stuff. He promised me a lot of stuff. Like he put it on souls and shit like that. So me being young and stuff, I'm thinking like, I don't know, it was just a lot, but I don't know.
So you will go
Now
through that experience again? Another man that you never met in prison?
I would need more factual information besides words. I would need action. You know?
But you know, I mean, if he's in prison, what actions can he really show you though, to be honest?
Right, right.
Yeah, but I know people in other I know people that had other experience like look at what's that show called? Dating in prison or whatever, where they get
Love
out
after
and
lockup?
Girl,
yeah, love after
damn,
lockup, you know, like people like that.
damn.
And they
I don't,
people
I
Damn.
get
don't,
out.
so I don't know the experiences of that.
Ma'am, this is another delusional mindset. Why are you comparing your life to a TV show? You can't it just is, and I see a lot of people do that. They compare it to TV shows, they compare it to celebrities. Well, such and so got with this man, and he married her, and this and they did this. You can't compare your life to a damn TV show, Love After Lockup. That's a TV show, baby. You can't compare your life to that. Oh, well, she had a good experience on Love After Lockup, so you know what? I'm going to do the same. Even though you had a real life experience with a prison babe and it didn't work out, he promised you the world and everything in it and didn't give you a dime. But you still going to give it a chance because you seen Love After Lockup and you saw a woman who actually got a prison babe out and they lived happily ever after. You're going to really use that as a way to gauge your own life and make decisions for what you want to do. That's a childish mindset. That's not how you do things. I mean, that's why I'm saying a lot of these women compare what celebrities do, what TV shows tell you. Is once again, it is that fairy tale. If you just, it's not the fairy tale um Snow White situation, but they really looking at other people lives and television and TV and all of this to determine, social media to determine what they gonna do. That shows you the mentality is lost. You're not even thinking for yourself. You're not even using your own brain to make sense out of what you're doing and then wonder why you're in this pickle. It's crazy, but these are a bunch of women who do this, use their emotions and their feelings to make decisions that in them in these predicaments and then want to just blame the men. You got to blame yourself for making these poor decisions. You're not using the brain that God gave you to make proper decisions. And I know people like to say, oh, I was young and dumb, but you can't keep using young and dumb when she just said she was young and dumb for picking the first prison babe. Now you're older and you realize he lied to you, but you would do it again? Stay out the goddamn prisons. Don't go how about make that first choice? Don't go to prisons looking for a man. Get your mind right. Start trying to figure out what you need to do to better your way of thinking and how you perceive men and where you look for men at. You got to work on yourself to make the adjustments. It's not always on a man to change. You have to change your mentality first because you are what you attract. So if you're not fully sound, if you're not clear on your choices, you're going to continue to make poor decisions and go to the prison looking for a good man, thinking that that's where you're going to get one from. You have to change you in order to do better. That's what I don't think they're realizing. It's not always on the man to make all the changes. Though they can make changes, you have to change the way you think, the way you perceive things, the way you see things for you to make better sound judgments or decisions. People got to understand that, but a lot of them don't. Successful MD says women prefer scammers and street pharmacists. That's true. And they really just say they rather a scammer. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. They literally say they rather scammers. They don't want an honest working man working a 9 to 5. That's a fact. Jesse Anderson says, when I was in prison, I didn't want a woman that wanted me while I was in. What kind of woman would want a man that can't do anything for them? Jesse, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you giving me that information. That makes more sense because I mean, if you're thinking, hey, I'm in here for whatever reason you're in there for, you saying you don't want a woman who wanted you while you was in because you know that you're not in a position to be the best for her. That makes sense to me. But you gotta ask now. You can understand that. Thank you for that super chat, Jesse. I appreciate you. But why the women don't see that that's the, somebody trying to telling you they're gonna give you the world and all that in prison. You don't look at that and think twice about that, like, wait a minute, that just I'm not gonna fall. Why how first listen, even the idea of entertaining somebody in prison is crazy to me. But that's just me. Now I understand everybody is not me. Everybody is different. Everybody and I get it. And I'm not trying to sound mean, but it's like, come on. But then the idea that she said she would do it again is mind-boggling to me. Because I'm like, look, I mean, if you must go to prison, why don't you wait for the man to get out and see what he's actually going to do to better himself? Because I don't think everybody in prison is in there, and doesn't want to better their lives. I think there are a lot of people who have been to prison and have been reformed and they've come out and they've made changes and advances. They're doing well. So I'm not saying that just because you went to jail that you can't better your life, because there are lots of men who have. And they've proven that, and they're doing well. Some of them had to go through, what they had to go through, and it took a minute, but they bettered their lives because they wanted better, and they're doing well. But if somebody is promising you all of this, you got to understand. Look, you got to know, like, what. First off, why are you in jail, and what are you planning on doing to better your situation? How are you gonna promise her all of this when you got some other steps that you got to take first before you can get to that point? You got to better yourself first. And just the fact that a lot of women don't get that is mind-boggling to me. They don't even understand that. They just, just whatever. John Tell says, has she seen America's Most Wanted? Probably not, child. And who knows? Maybe she has. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But maybe that's something she need to look at. Thank you for the super chat, John Tell. Maybe that's something she need to look at. I don't know. Success MD says they like the challenge of trying to mold men. Why? Divine Photo says Kendra prolongs this nonsense, which makes brothers and sisters look bad. But at the same time, people that come on volunteer to share their issues. They surely do, Divine Photos. Because my thing is this. Thank you for the super chat. The thing about it is, you don't have to go on these shows and tell your business. You really don't. You don't have to go on these shows and tell your business. They volunteer to do that. You should not be going on a social media platform exposing all of your business like that, because you know that it's going to get scrutinized. Social media, people are going to scrutinize what you say. So it's up to you. You have to not want to put your business out there. It's, if just because Kendra has a platform just like I do and many others, just because you have a same thing I said about Kevin Samuels, he has a platform. He doesn't make these people call into the show. You decide to call in the show and give your business. So that's on you. These shows, TV shows, Maury Povich, Jerry Springer, all them shows has been existing when people expose their business. It's up to you to put your stuff out there or not. Nobody is making you do that. So that's on you. You can't, people gonna have these types of shows, but it's up to you to decide to put your business out there. So that's on you. You make that call. They're not making you do that. So if once you put it out there, it's open for scrutiny. That's just what it is. That's just the world we live in. So, child, you gotta. I ask myself that question all the time. Why in the hell do they go on these shows and publicize their business? I always ask myself too, why do people put their children and their relationships on display for people to scrutinize, and knowing that you're going to see the comments, you're not going to like it, and it's going to cause even a more of an issue between what you're going through versus you dealing with that privately. Everything is not meant for social media. You need to keep your relationship, your family, and all that private, in my opinion. You shouldn't put unless you're prepared for the scrutiny. People will love you. People are going to love you. People are going to hate you. Everybody's not going to speak positive on your situation. So unless you're prepared for the influx of positive and negative comments, if you don't want to deal with that or don't know how to deal with that, keep your personal business off of social media. And especially when everything is posted. They post arguments. They post when they're chastising their children. They're posting every bit of their lives on social media, and then, complain about the backlash. That's just how it is. When you post stuff on social media, it's there for public scrutiny. That's just how it is. And you can't get past it. How How do you pronounce your name? Kurayasha. I hope I'm saying that right. Says at Divine Photos, we need to see the dysfunctional mentality. As long as it's swept under the rug, we can't address it. This is the evidence. I agree with that too. Thank you so much for the super chat. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I think that's important too because social media has put a spotlight on the toxic behavior that's been out there for years. I always say this type of behavior from women, men, whoever, just people in general, is nothing new. People like to say, "Oh, this is new." No, everything. This is not new behavior. This stuff has been happening. It just wasn't uh portrayed on social media. Men have been cheating, women been cheating. People has been having dysfunctional households for years. This is not new. None of it is new. It's just a spotlight has been placed on it via social media. That's it. This is not a new phenomenon. This stuff has been happening. And this is why a lot of women in particular don't understand the scrutiny because they've been doing this for years. They've been cheating on men, but the narrative has always been men just cheating their dogs, but women have cheated too, but nobody's ever talked about it this much. Nobody has ever pointed it out this much when it comes to women. We didn't see other women talking about this behavior. It was always the sisterhood for sure, because a lot of these women knew the behavior of their girlfriends and all of this. A lot of these women knew their friends were cheating on their husbands. A lot of women know this behavior, but nobody has ever exposed it. And now it's being exposed. This is why they have such a big problem with it. This is why you hear women saying, "I want men to go back the way they used to be. Just pay the bills and shut up." This is what they say. Now, if you told that to a woman, "Just go cook my food and clean this house and shut the hell up," oh my God, it's outrage. But these women are out here saying, "I want to go back to when men just paid the bills to shut up. I want to go back to men will just shut up and work hard as they can and then die and then I get that pension and then I can go on and continue to live my life." This is the stuff that they say. There's no outrage behind that though. Because this is how they feel. They really don't want you to have a voice. They really don't want you to say shit about them. But all the other women can continue to bash the men, continue to say how horrible they are, continue to say how ratchet they are and how low down and deadbeat and what they call, dusties. We can just continue to do that because that's what we like. We like the narrative on them while we can just skate away in the sunset and do whatever the hell we want. Let's not focus on the women. Let's not focus on the women because the women, they have vaginas and we don't want to, get them mad so they don't give us none. A mess. Let's continue.
So I hear people talk about it in my comment section, but I've never seen an episode.
Okay, but I done seen plenty of people come out of there or watch that show and people come out and actually be about what they talk about,
Okay.
But my experience was not like that. They talked a lot while they was in there, and then they got out, and then it's totally like I'm still stuck
Totally
where I'm
different.
at, and still taking care of myself and my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Okay. Well, thank you for being vulnerable. I can tell this is sensitive for you.
Yeah.
Do you think you're healed from this?
No, ma'am.
So you still want to meet somebody while you're healing?
Yep.
I think it's possible.
Okay. Let's do the Kendra Cam, Shay.
Okay. Stand up. Little. Well, I ain't got no big booty in it.
Okay. Oh, you seem short, Shay.
I'm only 5'2".
You're 5'2". Okay. So Shay, when was your last relationship? You're calling it this guy?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
The last time was his birthday was March something. So like.
Oh, y'all just stopped talking?
Huh?
When was his birthday? I can't hear
you. Oh, March 3rd.
So when did y'all break up? Because March 3rd was only a month ago.
Oh, like we're not really broke up. Like he might see this and be like, "Bitch, what you doing over here?"
What?
I'm kind of
wait.
We want a man watching my show to date a
Wait,
girl
girl.
that has a guy that just got out of
I don't
prison?
want to date a girl though. Why you keep thinking I want a girl, Kendra?
No, I said this. You want a man watching my show to date a girl that has
Oh,
a
okay.
guy that just
I
got
don't
out of
have a guy though.
prison. You just say y'all not kind of broken up.
No, like we still communicate, but to me, we
Just,
not together.
well, you just told me a second ago you guys are kind of together. You haven't really broken up. That's what you just said.
No, you asked me the last time I had sex.
Girl,
And then I said, when did y'all break
girl.
up? And you
She said we
said,
still together.
well, we're not really broken up. He might see this and say,
She's
bitch, what you
confused.
do
Okay,
on that show?
I
Right.
apologize.
You
Okay.
apologizing for which?
The last time I saw him was March for his birthday. Okay,
So when
the
did
last
y'all break up?
we didn't break up. Like it's not like we broke up or
Oh my
anything.
God.
So you want a man to date
Oh,
you
have
knowing that
mercy.
you are dating a guy that just got out of prison after 15 years?
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm, mm,
You don't think a man would be cautious?
mm, mm,
Well, yeah, they may.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
they may. But if I break down like the whole
mm,
relationship, like I
mm,
haven't talked to him. Like he called me like
mm,
once a week or once a month or whenever the fuck he feel like it.
mm, mm,
Like it's not even like we're not
mm,
in a relationship. You
mm,
know,
mm,
I don't feel like we're in a relationship.
mm, mm, mm,
Ooh,
mm, 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 mm.
That's weird.
well, here's the thing. I didn't
Girl,
know that you guys were still in contact.
girl, he
You just
said
had
we.
sex with him a month ago. I think any logical man might have to be cautious because we don't know what this man went to prison for 15
Girl,
years.
what did he go
We
for?
don't know if he's super crazy over you and
Mm,
if he saw you with another guy, if he would act a fool. Like,
But
no
mm.
I
one knows
think
that.
if he was super crazy over me, wouldn't he be calling me every day or doing that and
I
Oh
stuff
mean,
my God,
I'm
of
talking
that
baby.
nature?
about that's one crazy. Then there's a jealous crazy,
Oh,
right?
child.
And
Oh, child. Lord Jesus, help this lady. Help her, Lord. Please, 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 please help her. Seriously. She's not over him. She still want him. She still want him. She's probably trying to make him jealous. She probably hope he see that live. So he could be like, what? Like she said, he might see this and be like, what the hell you doing? We together. But in her mind, she trying to say, oh, they're not together. But she want him to not, she want him to claim her, to be with her. She still is in love with with Prison Babe. She still want him. But he's not responding. That's why she like, well, if when he was crazy over me, wouldn't he be calling me every day? So he ain't calling her. He's ghosting her. She wants more attention from. She wants him. She really wants him, but he doesn't seem to really want her. And she's hurt. So she's out here trying to move on to find somebody else, but she's really not over Prison Babe. That's what it is. She's hurt. She's broken. He broke her down because her expectations were shot. They weren't. He didn't fulfill what she thought he would. She's hurt. She's broken. But she still want him. But he's not calling her, so she's mad. So she's kind of like, well, we still together, but I don't think we really are because he's not showing me the attention. He's not calling me, but I wish he would. I wish he would. Please call me. This is an attention seeking grab right here on this Kendra G show. This is me reaching out to show him I really still want him. But do you want me? Please hit me up. Please call me. Come over. It's like it's her way of showing him. Come on, you better contact me and do something, or I'm gonna go get somebody else. That's what that is. That's what that is. Wow. Oh man, this is crazy. Let's continue.
let's say you're with a guy and he finds out, how will the guy know that this man isn't a jealous, crazy guy? Because you guys, you told us this whole story. You're still emotionally connected. We can
But
tell.
in a whole different state.
Okay.
In a whole different state.
What did I ask you your three flaws, honey?
Yes.
What were they again?
They were communication and being on time and I can't remember what the last one.
Why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
Guess they'll have to find out when they get with me.
They got to find out when they get with you.
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Well, when they talk to me, shit,
When they talk to you, they'll learn.
they'll learn.
They'll learn. Okay. We got Shay, 34, Sagittarius, Detroit, Michigan. Do you want him to be in? No, you said you don't got to be in Detroit, right?
No.
Okay. Mine are 2 kids, 13 and 6. Do you want more kids?
Yes.
Okay. She works in the automotive industry. Well, Shay, how could the guy reach out to you, honey?
Shay Curtis on Facebook or Instagram. I think is Sasha Curtis.
Well, let's just use the one that you know. Shay Curtis on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Shay, you keep me posted how it goes, baby.
Keep her posted,
Likewise.
Shay.
Thank you, Kendra.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good
Bye,
Okay,
one.
baby
you too.
Kendra.
Bye, baby.
Kendra was lost.
Ooh, child.
Ooh, child is correct, Kendra. Lord, have mercy, Jesus Christ. Lord, that is a swimming in the head. That would give you a swimming in the goddamn head. Child. Child. Ooh, child is right. Woo, baby, I'm glad I had some type of discernment. Y'all saw that discernment on display, baby. I called it out about that lady. I said it, and I'm never going to forget it. Girl, Lord have mercy. I pray for her. I'm going to pray for her, that she gets the help that she needs because, far too often, like I said before, the focus is always on the men. They need to do this. And the women are out here just lost in the goddamn sauce. A lot of these women are lost, confused, thrown off, mental issues. A lot of things are going on and nobody's checking it. Nobody's checking for it. And this was on full display in this particular video, I must say. And she might be a nice young lady because she doesn't seem mean or anything. But baby, that doesn't excuse the fact that she needs a lot of help. She needs a lot of help, and getting a husband, that is not going to help her because she's going to, that trauma is going to spill into that relationship and onto that man. And he's not going to be able to deal with the trauma and the stuff that she got going on because it's clear that there is some. And so she needs to work on herself and not try to get in a relationship. But honestly, and also on top of that, I don't think any man would really take her seriously because clearly she's still in love with Prison Babe. She's still in love with Prison Babe. She wants the attention from Prison Babe. He's not giving it to her. Clearly she wants him. And he's not, he seems to have moved on. He probably got him another woman, you know? And so she's hurt. She's hurting. That she could tell this is all still hurting her, and she don't know what to do. And this was her probably last ditch effort to reach out to him to go on the Kendra G show to try to get him to see this video so that he can feel some kind of way and call her up or come to her, try to be with her because he's ghosted her. He lied to her in prison, gave her all these false hopes, told her he was gonna probably do all kinds of shit for her, and he didn't do it. And then now he done went and moved to another state, she say, and now he ain't even trying to think about her. Prison Babe done went off, used that lady, which is wrong. But I don't understand what she was expecting too. This is why I say accountability is key. You gotta start making better choices. You can't make poor decisions and then just blame it all on somebody else. You made that. You made the choice to go and get with Prison Babe, establish a emotional relationship with him over the phone. He sat there and told you everything that he could think of that he thought would woo you over, and you sat there and you waited for Prison Babe to get out. He gets out, probably put it on you real good because he was thirsty. And then you fell in love, and then he promised you all kind of got that, used you for whatever he could, money or a place to stay or whatever. And then when he was, got it all together, he went on and pushed on to somebody else, somewhere else, because he never really wanted you. That's what they do. They looking for somebody to put money on their books. Why don't women understand that? Why? You want somebody to put money on your books and somebody to give you a place to stay when you get out. It's a known thing. They talk about this. They have these forums or things where the prisoners where they can actually chat. There's some I just was hearing about this. They have a whole thing where you could chat with them or something, or you could talk to them. They sitting there telling you about themselves, and it's like a prison Instagram or something. I don't know the name of it. I forgot the name of it, but it's like you can actually chat with them, and they can tell you, and you can support them and all kinds of stuff. And they sit there and they're able to tell you what they looking for. I want somebody. I'm getting out in 3 months or whatever, and I'm looking for a woman. Yeah, because they when it's close to the time for them to get out of prison, they start putting a place to be in place. So they, of course, they're gonna start telling you, talking to the women out there who are looking for prison babes, what they want. They're gonna start ramping it up and trying to make y'all think that they serious, because they know they're getting out in 3-6 months, whatever. And then, so they getting their ducks in a row, and they know that there's going to be some woman who's going to eat that up and be like, ooh, he fine. Ooh, I take him and take him. And then he's just looking for somebody to, so when he get out, he can have somewhere to go, somebody to pick him up, somebody to, take him home. He can, bang you down, get that out of his system, eat your food, do whatever he needs to do, and then keep it pushing to the next spot. And there are women who actually fall for this and who are okay with this, and knowing that this is not going to be most of the time, I'll say this is not going to be anything stable, but they're willing to go for it, and then complain when you know the inevitable. You know what this is going to be. The same way women go out and fool with men who are cheaters, and they've got 3-4 baby mamas and they all over the place. They're not committed to any of the women. You know this when you met them. But he was fine. You want to see what he can do in the bed. So you go and do that, get caught up, start buying him shit. This is why we say, listen, Pukas ain't gotta have all these expectations like the average man have to have. He ain't gotta have all that. As long as he look good, he putting it on you the way you like. Because that's all it's about. Everything is a transactional situationship. Everything is about how fine you are, what you can do, how you can please me. It's not about nothing real stable. That's all it's turned into nowadays. It's all that they care about. Oh, he got to be this, he got to that, because that's all they care about. They're whipped by, the man's physique and, how big his private parts are, so he can put it on you real good. And that's all they really be caring about. That's why we know if these men look a certain way and they got it going on like that, these women don't give a, he don't have to make no 6 figures. He don't got to have none of this stuff that these women are talking about. Because this is the guys that they've been dealing with, and they realize that don't work out. So now you want to put all these expectations on another man because you're not really attracted to him. And you know that you need more than just that, but you're not really, you really just want him to, pump you down real good. That's really it. That's the main focus. But then as you get older and you done ran through all of them, that done pumped and dumped just several times, and that's nothing stable. So now you get older and you realize, oh, well, damn, pumping and dumping is not the only thing that matters. I'm getting old. I need companionship. I need somebody to take care of me. Now you want the respectable men who would want marriage to come and take you on after you done been ran through and pumped and dumped. That's why we say that, because that's the truth. And the truth hurts. You done been pumped and dumped because that's what you wanted. And you realize that was all he was good for. He was not good for long-term success. He was only good for that, and you knew that. But that's what you wanted. So that's what you got. So don't complain. Now you think that you're going to come in and get a responsible man to come in and just accept you because pumped and dumped. You gave you 2-3 kids, and now you sitting around like, well, I need a responsible man now who knows where his birth certificate is at. Now you want him to come in, but the expectations for him has tripled. When pump and dump man you didn't require none of that for him. He ain't have to have none of that because his pumping and dumping you sufficed. But now this man, he got to have what the pump and dump had and 3 times more. He got to make 6 figures. He got to look like the pump and dump dude, but the responsible version. He got to have all of this stuff for you. And when you look at your record of being pumped and dumped, you don't even qualify for this type of man. And that's what we're seeing. So you can't expect to go out here, get pumped and dumped by several Pookies and Ray Rays and just run a gambit, make all these babies and do all this stuff with these men. And then you want this responsible man who don't have no kids, who has a good job, who's done well for himself, to come in and just accept you after all of the pumping and dumping, all of this. You done gain weight. You got 3 kids by 3 baby daddies. You're not even the type of woman that he wants. You done mark yourself up. You're just out here just looking a hot mess, even though you think it's everything. And you think he should take you on because you now you know your worth and now you're more, wiser. So you say, and he's supposed to come and take you. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. And I just want women to look at that and think logically about what you're asking. You want the responsible man, and then these women don't want any more kids. This man can't even get his own child, but he got to take on yours. He got to do the most for you and your kids. He don't even get his own child. He's supposed to come marry you and take you on and be responsible for you and your kids, be committed to you when you've never been really committed, don't really know what that looks like because you've been pumping, getting pumped and dumped by several different of these guys. It ain't just one that you was with. You was with a bunch. You had a bunch. You went through the gambit. So you don't even know what commitment looks like, but you expect him to do it. You don't even know what to do. This is why they fumble good men, because you can have a good one. You don't even know what to do with him. That's why the expectations are through the roof for what they want from these men, because they know they've never gotten it from the men that they've been associated with. You've never gotten that. So now you think, oh, I deserve it. Oh, because I've been pumped and dumped by Pookie. I knew he wasn't faithful. I knew he wasn't going to commit to me because I know his past. I know him, but the loving was so good. I just had to keep going back. It just made me go back, and you keep going and you keep doing that until he just move on. Because as long as he's there and he's allowing himself to deal with you, they'll keep doing it. But he moves on. See, and it forces them to have to move on, but they don't want to. Now, I learned my worth. I know my worth now. Oh, you know your worth after 3 children, 3 baby daddies, fooling with them. Now you know your worth, and your worth requires this man to have all this stuff that you never required in the past. And I hope they understand that is not how that goes. That's just not how that works out. But that's what they expect. And if they can find a man who's willing to accept that, they're gonna drain him dry. My husband called it financial vampires. You're going to be in it for the long haul with a financial vampire who's going to drain you dry. And when she drain you dry, not in a good way, in a bad way, she going to drain every ounce of money, every ounce of whatever you got out of you till she can't drain you no more. And then you're going to be left holding the bag, and you're going to be looking dumb like, damn, I really fell for this. But you ain't got to fall for it. You see it. It's a big walking red flag, and you see it as clear as day. You can just go around it. Don't fool with it. Don't fool with it, because you're going to it's going to mess you up. Avenge the Ancestors, thank you for the super chat. Says, Queen DeeDee, what do you think about this new black woman initiative? What initiative? We talking about with the politics? Is it the politics that you're talking about? I don't know anything about it, I don't think. Thank you for the super chat. Is it the politics thing where they're banding together to vote for Kamala? Are you talking about the politics? Is that what you're talking about? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. But I will say this, any black woman's initiative is still going to be rooted in BS. Because a lot of black women, unfortunately, don't want to be accountable. It's the same old thing in rotation. They don't really create an initiative that is rooted in truth and honesty and accountability. So if it's anything that is with the same old narrative as, the girl code or the code woman's code, it's not going to be up to snuff, in my opinion. Because I think a lot of women focus on the same things. They don't really focus on being honest and upfront. It's always women banding together to point out how horrible men are, or to bash men, making them seem more superior. So if it's one of those things where they're banding together to seem more superior, and it's all about women, to me, that's an issue. That would be an issue. Because it's no different. You know what I'm saying? It's always the same old message. It's always the same old thing. Lack of accountability, point out everybody else and make yourself seem superior and that you're the best thing since sliced bread. That's how I see it. So if it's anything like that, I'm not here for it. I don't believe that you know, women are superior and women have all the answers, because they just don't. But a lot of these women think that because they went to college that they're perfect and they know it all, and they don't. They make a lot of mistakes, but nobody likes to hold them accountable. That's a problem. That's a major problem, you know. So if you refer to anything like that, nah, I don't support that. I really don't. I'm about being honest and truthful, because that's the only way that you can make real changes. You know what I'm saying? Stop making the same mistakes over and over and over, thinking that it's okay, but constantly blaming others for your mistakes. You gotta, and women, honestly, we think in with our emotions and our feelings. You can't do things, in my opinion, productively using your emotions and your feelings to make sound decisions. You can't make a sound decision when it's based on emotion and feelings. That's how you make mistakes. And we feel a lot and we think a lot. We don't operate logically and we don't operate in facts. We ignore the facts and we go with what we feel and what we think. And I think that's the problem. That's part of the reason why a lot of men say women can't fully lead properly. And I agree, because we're not thinking logically. We're not looking at the situation. We put our feelings in it and we go with that instead of looking at it for what it is, making sound decisions based on the facts and what's in front of you, not on your feelings, what you feel is best, what you think is best. No, go with what the factual information says, despite your feelings, and go with that. But a lot of women don't do that. So yeah, I think that is a problem. So this was a doozy, y'all. I want to play one more clip and I want to get your thoughts on it. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, hit the like button. Definitely hit the like button. Support the channel, Cash App or Super Chat, you guys. That really helps the channel out. So make sure you guys are supporting in that way if you can. Okay. So let's play this clip and I want to get your thoughts on this one.
Impressed by what it is that you have, because I have it. I've already accomplished that. What else do you bring? Can you communicate? Since we like talking about women checking these boxes and what makes you a good woman, let's talk about what makes you a good man. Because outside of finances, can you communicate? Are you considerate? Are you intentionally dating? Do you want to protect? Do you want to provide? Do you want to me right? How you want to do this?
Well, it's interesting because, when these women come across the type of man that she's speaking of, they don't know what to do with him. So if a man, they talked about this too, having, being, emotional intelligence and being able to communicate. So if a man was to communicate effectively to a woman, she's not going to like what she hears. That's the thing. You're not going to like when a man can communicate his feelings or communicate. Excuse me, y'all. When a man communicates properly, these women can't handle it, And what we find out is a lot of times, this is why I say women like to project. They like to project their issues onto a man because they don't want to work on themselves. So you got to keep pointing at, can you communicate effectively? Can you do this? Can you do that? Because a lot of them cannot do it. A lot of them cannot. So when you come across, this is how it rears its ugly head. This is how you see that a lot of these women are full of shit. Because when you get a man who knows how to communicate effectively, you're going to have a problem with it. When he's telling you what he wants, what he doesn't want, what he will tolerate, what he won't. When he's very specific, when he's very intentional on what he's looking for. Oh, these women run like the wind. They don't sit there. They like, oh my God. You're going to find some insulting way to address him. Indirectly address him. Because you're not going to tell that to him. You're going to go tell your girlfriends. You're going to get on social media and talk about how he was. Or he was either sassy because he spoke on things that he was, of what he wanted, his intentions or his standards. Oh, he's too controlling. Like, oh, I think he'll come for me. Like, you really don't want the things that you're asking for. It's just a way to continuously complain about things you don't want to do anything about. They don't truly want an emotionally intelligent man. You truly don't want a man who's going to communicate, because he's going to be direct. It's not going to be the way women express themselves. Men are different. Men are not going to express themselves the way we do. They're not going to come to the, oh, see, I want this and that. No, they're going to tell you direct. They're going to be stern. They're going to come to you with exactly what it is that they want. And unfortunately, a lot of women don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to handle a direct man. They don't know how to handle a man who's very precise and very straightforward what it is that he's looking for. They don't know how to handle that. Very clear on what he expects. They're not ready for that. It's just a way to continue to complain about men without looking at yourself. Most men talk about they go on dates with women. Women don't even have a conversation. You don't even know what to talk about. You don't even have words to say to the man. You don't even know what it is that you want. You don't know how to communicate yourselves. So, if you're asking for these things, make sure you know how to communicate as well. Make sure you can bring to the table what it is you're asking from these men. So, I hear all of this stuff, but I think, a lot of these women have either never been in bad relationships or they've experienced Pookies and Ray Rays, and they really just think that they can, just use that for everything. That this is how all men are, and oh my God, and they, they. I don't know. It's just a way to continuously complain because you don't want to do anything to fix your situation. Now, you can't control a man. You can't control nobody else. You can only control what you do. You can't control what others do and how they respond and how they act. You can only control yourself. So if you can control your decision-making skills, if you can control your actions, if you can control how you project and how you present yourself, you should focus on that. And the better you get at working on yourself, I really believe that you'll attract a different caliber of man. You keep attracting a certain type because that's what you exude. They're attracted to what you, because you're exuding a certain energy that attracts a certain type of man. If you don't want to attract that type of guy, change your energy, change how you move and what you do. You know what I'm saying? So look, we all have work to do. I say that all the time. We all have work to do. But you gotta understand that there are a lot of men accept where they are. Let's just be honest. And I don't think women like to give them that part. You don't want to give a man anything, honestly. You don't want to give men credit for anything. You just want to take all the credit. But there are a lot of men who accept where they are. Men can accept that they're not all 10s. They can accept that they have work that they need to do. I hear it and see it all the time. Men know how to accept the fact that, what, I need to get in the gym. Maybe I need to lose some weight. I need to make some more money. I need to contribute. They accept what they are expected to do for the most part. But the majority of women, you could be 500-600 pounds, baby, on 600-pound life, strapped to your damn bed. You still gonna say you a 10. You could be confined to your bed, 600 pounds, and they're going to still say, oh, you look good, girl. Yeah, you looking good today, girl. You a 10. It's the delusion for me. So there's no limits for how delusional women can be, but men have to really accept where they are because there's no excuses for a man. You don't get a pass. You don't get no excuses. You got to be held to the fire to do what you're supposed to do, protect, provide, do it all. And there's no room for error when it comes to men, but women can just be obese to the umpteenth degree. You could be sloppy. You don't have to have no communication. You could just do whatever, baby. You could be as reckless as you want as a woman, but it's all considered all good because you're a woman. And you telling me that ain't a problem? There's no excuses for a man, but a woman can have all the excuses in the world. She cheat on a good man. Oh, it's his fault. She's combative and just ratchet and doing the most. And, oh, it's okay because she had a trauma growing up. She didn't have her mother growing up and her father. You don't give a damn if a man ain't have his mother follow you. I don't care. Figure it out, Negro. You see the double standards, and that's not a double standard that should be accepted. There's no excuse for a grown person, whether you're a woman or a man, to do what is right. There shouldn't be excuses for women, grown people, to just do whatever you want, talk to people any kind of way, just be as ratchet as all outdoors, and nobody blinks an eye on that. No, if there are consequences for men, there need to be consequences for women as well. You don't get a pass. You shouldn't. But that's what's been happening for far too long. So, it's just those, and that's where I think women need to work on. You can't go out here and just do anything and expect that there are no consequences. And I think they're figuring it out, but they hate it. You don't like it. You don't like the consequences, but it's something you're going to have to accept, because men are forcing women to accept it by walking away, by not dealing with these women, by not approaching them, by not dealing with them. It's going to force them to accept their fate and the reality that's in front of them. They're not going to be able to continue to be delusional. You can be delusional in another way, because they're going to continue to move the goalposts. You're going to continue to be delusional in one way, shape, or form, because if the men are, like they are delusional, asking questions over and over. I see videos every day of them asking, why are men not approached? Why aren't they giving a seats for women? Why aren't they treating women like ladies? But you fail to realize that a group of women who don't act like ladies. They act like thuggish gangster men. They're not acting like ladies. They're acting like ratchet women. They're not ladylike. They look like 304s. They're not acting like ladies, so men aren't treating them like that. And then you're on top of that, you're saying you don't need a man, don't tell me nothing, don't approach me. I don't want a man to talk to me. So they're not talking to you. So why are you complaining about it now? Just accept the things that you asked for. They're giving you what you asked for. So accept it. Why complain about something you asked for? You asked to be independent. You said you don't need a man. You said you can do it all by yourself. You can do bad by yourself. So continue to do bad by yourself. Stop complaining that men aren't approaching, and men don't approach you when you go out, and they don't even look your way, is what they're saying. The men are looking elsewhere because they don't want you. Ask them to do it, and that's what they're doing. So just accept it. Stop complaining. Stop thinking that men owe you something. Stop thinking that, you're entitled to something. Just leave them be. That's what y'all asked for. But then they act oblivious. Like, why have we come to this place? Well, how did we get here? How did we get here? Why are men not being gentlemen? Why are the men not even looking at us? Why are the men acting the way they're acting? Why they don't protect us? What are they good for? Well, you already told them they ain't shit. You already said they ain't nothing. They're the bottom of the barrel. So leave them alone. If they that, why you keep asking them to do something you already said they don't do? Make that make sense. You've already told them they're not shit. You already told them they're the bottom of the barrel. You don't want them. You want to divest and all of this. So why are you now expecting them to give you something you said they don't have? They can't give you something that they don't have, right? So why are they still crying for them to do it? Because it's really a shaming tactic. They thought that they could shame them, and then the men was going to just start doing what they want. And now men are saying, hell with that. I'm not doing that. I want peace, and I'm not trying to deal with you. So now that's the thing. It's almost like a woman giving you an ultimatum and thinking that that's going to, like women, well, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to leave, right? They give you an ultimatum and thinking that that's going to force you to do what you want them to do. Instead, they let you leave. You leave. And then when you leave, you're crying, I just wanted him to do what I want him to do. I didn't really want to leave. I didn't really want to leave. I thought he was going to fight for me. No, baby, y'all don't understand men. When you tell them what you want, they respond. They give you what you want, even if it hurts them. Even if it's something that they don't really want to do, they're honoring what you're saying. They do exactly what you want them to do. This the part, they don't play games like women do. Women do that kind of stuff. Women are the ones who say, well, and double dare, and I'm gonna do this, and then thinking that you say one thing and mean something else, thinking that you're gonna get that outcome, and you don't. Men don't operate like that. You tell a man you leaving, he like, well, okay, if that's what you want to do, because he knows he can't force you one way or another. So why would he even try? He might be hurt inside, but if that's what you want to do, that's what you're gonna do. I've seen this. So when you say that, you gotta understand he's gonna respond accordingly. It's almost that you want him to fight for you. Why would he fight for something you're telling him you clearly don't want? Are you clearly gonna do something? He can't fight you over it. He'll be in jail. So he has no other recourse but to accept what you want. That's what you want. Cool. And see, they want a different response. They don't want you to say, cool, okay, if that's what you want. You don't want that. You want him to try to fight to save you. That makes you feel special. Classic Perspective says these 304 was raised by 608s and 912s. Thank you, Classy. They was raised by something. Hell, thank you once again for the super chat, child. Baby, it's a mess. It's a mess. Y'all, I'm gonna drop the link for just a sec. If you want to come up and give your thoughts real quick, go ahead and do that. I don't want to keep y'all too long, but I want to give y'all the opportunity to say something if you want to. So I put the link. Hopefully, did the link? If you want to give your 2 cents on the topics that were discussed in this live stream. It's just a mess, y'all, but I don't know. Did the link show up? I don't even see it. Do y'all see the link? If you want to join, come on up. I'm gonna leave it there for a second. It's a mess though, y'all. Let me see. Hopefully, oh, there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pin it to the top. There we go. So it's just a mess. I don't know what it's gonna take, but child, listen, like I said, we all are works in progress. We all need to be working on ourselves in one way, shape, or form. Nobody is out here perfect. I always say that nobody's out here perfect. So nobody could ever put it on me that I'm like one-sided. I'm like, no, I point out women because women have never really been pointed out. A lot of these women have never been held to the fire, but you always want to put everything on the men. And I just think that that's unfair. And speaking from a place of knowing good men and having a good man, I got to speak on my experience too. Just as much as other women speak on their negative experiences, well, I have a right to speak on my positive experiences with Black men as well. I'm not going to sit here and just hold my tongue and not say my experiences too, because there's so many women out here with negative experiences towards Black men. So just as much as they want to say how all these men that they've experienced are trash and bums and all that, I get to say my experiences, and other women who are married and have good experiences with Black men, we can give our experience too. Because if we're silent and not speak on it, the narrative will continuously go on that, oh, all Black men are just trash and they're all the same. And our experiences say that is not true. So there might be a bit of both, but we can't make it seem like the narrative is all just on, all their experience, the bad. So this is how all Black men are. When no, we know it's not, because there are a lot of Black women who have good Black men and good experiences with Black men. And we have a right to say what we've experienced too, no matter if they don't like it or not. Because I'm pretty sure a bunch of these men don't like the fact that these women are pushing that narrative that Black men are all just trash. When they know that they're productive citizens in society and they're good men and they take care of their kids and they're married and all of this. So yeah, you gotta say something too. You can't just let people just portray you in this way when we know that there are productive Black men out here. That's been done for far too long. So yeah, we all have a right to say our piece. And this is why I'll say, look, this is my experience. This is what I've seen. This is what I know. Just like they say their experiences as well. What's going on, Michael?
How you doing, Miss DeeDee?
Good. How are you?
Good. I don't know. I don't know. Miss Pearly things recently said when she got into a fight with what's her name, Brittany Renner on that panel. You
Hmm.
saw that, didn't you?
Hmm.
Some women just don't make a lot of good decisions, and this is a lack of fair having fathers in the home. Because one of the things that I got through talking with my stepfather and a lot of people in my family recently, that we as a people have got to get back to the point where, mostly with girls, we got to meet the people that they date, because women don't react on logic. Usually they react on emotions and feelings. They don't react on logic. I don't know what she felt for that jailbird that got her pregnant twice, but um I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what I know you get tired of these conversations, Miss DeeDee. I know it gets under your skin sometimes. And I don't see how you can do it without at least taking one break, or more than one break at a time, because this can sometimes drain the daylights out of you. Because this is ridiculous. I don't know how Kendra G can deal with this on a daily basis and not go crazy, because they come up there with the most ridiculous demands, and they have all of these flaws, and they don't tell them up. They don't tell them up from the outside into the outside. That girl wasn't even that attractive, but now she want a good man to come into her life that she'll be ran through by a jailbird. Why would you go with a jailbird? Why not a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, or a plumber, or something like that? Why would you go with a jailbird? What do you see in him?
Well, it's a direct reflection of her. She probably don't feel that she could measure up to that type of man. A lot of these women are insecure. This is why they use, in my opinion, this is why they use that men are all insecure about every little thing. No, because it's a deflection. It's that they're insecure by that. That's why they don't believe that they can measure up to that type of man. They think they really are insecure within themselves. So you go with that type of man because that's what you think you can get. She wouldn't feel comfortable dating a doctor or a lawyer because she don't feel that she measure up to him. He might be a little bit more educated. This is why education is so important to these women, because they know they can't, they feel insecure by a man who actually has standards and has done well for themselves. They say they want it, but they know they're insecure by that type of man. This is, look, I was told that, and to be quite honest, and I hate to throw my mother under the bus, but she told me she didn't want an educated man because she didn't want him to look down on her. So you don't want an educated man because it makes you feel inferior. You feel less than, because you think that he's going to try to one up you because he's educated and you're not. So this to me plays into why women are so focused on their education, and they believe that their education can make them qualify for a higher caliber of man. That's why they do it. And this is why they're so proud. Oh, I got my master's and I got this and I'm going for my PhD. This, because it makes them, they feel that qualifies them for a man with standards. And so that's part of the reason. They are the ones who are insecure of successful men, in my opinion.
Yeah, ones who got fragile egos too, like
Yep.
because like with that plumber guy who went on the balloon pop show. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
that over 500 women called his job and got him fired? Over 500, maybe 500,000 women called his job and got him fired because they didn't like the way he acted on the dating show. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
know there was some simps and some maggles in there too. So,
Yeah.
so women have fragile egos. They have insecurities. I mean, and it's a myth that men have we deal with rejection on a daily basis. Even
Right.
even even the successful high value man got to deal with rejection as part of being a man.
Mm-hmm.
Every woman's not going to want to be with you. That we have to just man up and deal with life like that. But
Right.
women are not told to woman up and deal with life, because women are coddled by life because they're women.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got the Bible in front of me. And that's the reason why the Bible says that the head of every man is every head of every woman is a man. Head of every man is Christ, and the head of God and the head of Christ is God. There's always going to be an order, because There's some things that women have, some women lack in areas that men don't, especially when it comes to taking accountability, and especially when it comes to doing certain things physically and emotionally. We dominate in those fields. We don't get easily caught up by emotions unless we've been raised by a single mother, and we don't get easily caught up by anger or rage. We actually control that because we're men. We just have to be man up. We just when we act if we act emotional, people will tell us man up and deal with life.
Mhm.
So that's the reason why men have got to get back to running the communities. They got to get back to showing young girls. They got if you have and if there's any fathers who are watching this, my advice to them is to meet every boy. I don't care how old your daughter is. Meet every boy your daughter dates, because your daughter, I don't care how smart she is, she's still a woman, and she's still prone to making decisions out of her emotions and out of her feelings at the time. You have a lawyer like down here in Atlanta. A long time ago, this woman was dating a lawyer girl was dating them Pookie and Ray Ray, and the Pookie and Ray Ray wound up killing her. It was on the Philip Scott show. He wound up killing her. I don't know why, but she was dating him, and he wound up killing her. She was a lawyer, a Supreme Court judge or a lawyer, and she got up getting killed by a Pookie and Ray Ray boyfriend.
Mm.
So as a father, you have to meet, I don't care how old your daughter is, you have to meet every man or every boy your daughter's dating.
Mhm. And well, and a lot of, and this kind of lends to the idea of a lot of women thinking that they can raise their sons and raise these children by themselves. They don't think of all of this. They don't think of the consequences, how this can affect their children. They
Right,
just want a baby. I don't need a man. I make money. Or I make some money. I can financially take care of my child. But I always say, listen, it takes more than finances to raise children.
right,
Money is one aspect of that. I don't understand how they don't get it. Your children need stable two parent households. You need to have stable parents in your children's lives to give them the best that you can give them. And I hear people always talking about I want to give my child the best, but you purposely go and create a broken home thinking that that is going to give your child the best that you could possibly can. That's just not true.
right,
And then when you speak of the Bible, a lot of women want to always quote the Bible, and I talk about this in another video that I'll be putting out soon. How you always want to use the Bible and God when you're not getting what you want, But when you're
right,
out here doing whatever it is you want, sleeping with this one, sleeping, you don't ever think about God when you're about to open your legs and bust it open for these men.
right,
You're not
right.
thinking about God then,
I'm gonna be
you
honest
know.
with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Miss Didi. Can you hear me? I'm
Yes.
gonna be honest with you, Miss Didi. I was watching the Average Man channel, and he said that most men are becoming more conservative these days than women. Women are becoming more liberal, if you understand what I mean. Women
Mhm.
are not remaining virgins, no matter how much they tell you that women go to church more than men do. That's nothing. God don't care about you going into a church building because you're probably not even living for him anyway. You're
Hmm.
probably just doing what you want to after church.
Mhm.
So most men are prone to being virgins in the Western world because based on the standards and based on the fact that they can't really they don't want to be rejected in the worst type of way because women have fragile egos and they think more of themselves than what they really should be thinking of themselves. So men have become conservative. They remain virgins until they find the right person, and women have become liberal out of their Jezebel feminist spirit that is taking over their minds. And that's basically what the woman was talking about in the Average Man channel. So we as society have got to get back to order. But I personally don't believe that it's not gonna get any better. You gonna have to do another one of these videos again every day until you retire, or it's time, or God calls you home, or God comes back. Either way it goes, because the world's not gonna get any better. America is about done. America's are going down a dumpster now, and nobody's taking these taking life or the value system that Crimson Cure talk about, which is written in the Bible. It just says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God." Nobody's taking those tough steers no more. Everybody's out for themselves. If you watch the Tubi movies, it's all about crime, especially when it comes to the black community. When you watch every movie that's based on the black movies has that lost value system in it. That CC be talking about. Everybody trying to get the band, but nobody trying to get to a righteous value system that can help them stay stable. Nobody trying to keep God first. And then Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and all this other foolishness going on. America's about done. America's about done, or at least when it comes to cultural standards, because we're not respected no more. So
Right.
we have got to get back to families. Those of us who want to be saved, we got to get back to forming families and having communities again. So,
Gotcha. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming up and always giving your perspective. You make a lot of good sense, and I think people need to
go
hear
ahead.
it. So, um, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, but I appreciate you for coming up, Michael. Can you hear me?
Right.
So, thank you, Michael, for coming up. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, that's crazy though. But y'all, it's a crazy hot mess. Thank y'all. Anybody successful MD says if we are trash, they are trash cans and dumpsters. Child. Yeah, it's just crazy. But we can't say that successful MD. We gotta just focus on the trash men. Men are all trash and nobody else, the women are perfect, queens with vaginas, and men want vaginas and you want us, so you gotta pay for it. And they're the cream of the crop and they're just perfect and they don't make no mistakes, because any mistake that they make is always back to the man. Any choices, any poor decisions that they make is always back to the man's fault. The men are the fault. The men are fault for what they do and for what women do. Like, come on now. We got to stop this. This is not helping. It's not helping whatsoever. So we got to do better. And I challenge women to do better. You can point out the men all you want, but you still got to look at yourself. You got to go home, look in the mirror, and evaluate your choices and the things that you've done. And you gotta live with that. And you might as well look at it, accept it, try to do better, make some changes, change your mentality to better yourself so that you can get a better outcome. You can't stay in that same old mindset that you were taught and trained to be, even though it's not benefiting you. You can't always constantly put the blame on men, because if men completely isolate themselves and don't fool with women, then who you gonna be blaming it on? You're gonna have nobody to blame it on but you. Because if all the good men are saying, look, we want better, we want to go get wives, we want better women, we want women who want to be wives, we want women who want to work with us, we don't want independent boss chicks who don't need us. So if men separate themselves from those types of women, those women are going to be left to their own devices. And yeah, you can pay your rent, but what else do you have? They're still out here complaining for companionship and somebody to live life with at the end of the day, but you haven't changed your mentality. So you could get a man. If you could get a man that has what you want, you're going to run him off because your mentality hasn't changed. You still haven't accepted that there are things that you need to change. You just think that because you make money that is enough, and it's not. So you gotta do better. We gotta do better. You gotta stop shifting the blame and work on yourself, and hopefully you'll get better results because of it. Q, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. What's your thoughts on the topic?
It's we ain't got enough time. I mean, just put it like that. But all I know, I'm 52 years old, and for the life of me, is like I never really could understand, right? And or at least I
Mhm.
thought that. But now I'm starting. I'm still not understanding. Really, it's weird to me. You got these dudes who you get with, and these dudes they purposely give you the red flags out their pocket, hand them to you, and you purposely ignore them. I'm not understanding that.
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
you want to run around here act like and sit up and ask the question, "What a good man is." You running them away. I just saw a video a little while ago this morning, rather, about chivalry.
Right.
This woman had this woman had a man. He was basically everything that she wanted in this man, but because he wasn't toxic enough, she breaks up with him. What's wrong with him? I don't know. My mama didn't warn me about none of this here. I'm somebody to find out
That's
on my own. It's weird.
right. It is weird. Like it's crazy, but
Uh,
that's why I say they don't know how to deal with good men. They're used to the toxic behavior and they expect
mhm.
it, you know. They expect it, and then when they get it, then you want to complain about it. It's almost if you want to complain about something. As
Wait,
a man who has standards and
I'm
has
not
a
sure if
sense of
that's
self,
me or if that's you.
can you hear
I'm
me?
not sure if that's me or if that's you or if that stream you're tripping. It's like you sound like a robot. One of us sound like a robot. I don't know if you can hear me pretty good or not.
Yeah, I can hear
But
you, but it sounds
look,
static or something.
beautiful. Hey, bottom line is this here, DeeDee. Number one, I appreciate everything that you do for real. I actually keep all that up right there. I appreciate you. I appreciate the hell out of you for being our voice. So because it's like they ain't trying to hear us. So maybe it sounds a little bit different if it's coming from somebody who looks like them.
Mhm.
So I appreciate the hell out of you for real. And I want you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. I hope you could hear me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. Take care.
You too.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy, you know. So, it's a crazy world we're living in. Hopefully, somebody gets something out of it. I hope y'all can hear me. I don't know what's going on with the audio, but it's just a mess, y'all. It's a mess. And, once again, somebody got to speak some truth to this. Somebody got to have a difference of opinion. We all can't just be on this same, trajectory and just letting the narrative just be what the majority of these women are complaining about and pushing out there. So I've been, like I said, I've been hearing this since I was a child. Men ain't this and men are this and they're dogs and that. While watching a bunch of uh irresponsible, unproductive women just do them, while seeing these women do whatever it is they wanted to do, and nobody was holding them accountable. Nobody was saying these women are trash, irresponsible mothers who abandon their children, mothers who cheat, women who cheat on their husbands, women who are doing whatever it is they wanted to do, and nobody talked about it. It was like the OK Corral, in like in the with the when the in the women's group, and they all just co-sign that behavior or don't. To me, and if you don't call it out, if you don't say anything, you're okay with it. You're co-signing it, and that's what the woman's what is it the woman's group or whatever they call it, that's what that is. You just accept whatever it is and you don't say anything about it. Women are friends, and your friend is cheating on her husband, and you just, oh well, he should give her attention, that's why she's doing it, it's his fault. You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it is. And so yeah, and that's why it's an issue now when anybody speaks out against it, because oh, as a woman, you're not supposed to do that, child. And they don't want to accept it from women. They don't want to accept it from nobody. You men, how dare you say anything about women? Women, how dare you pick me? You shouldn't be saying you pick me. You want to be picked so bad, and you want attention from men so bad, so you just tell it all our secrets. Like, come on now. It's crazy. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Shout out to everybody watching, everybody who supports the channel. Shout out to everybody here and everybody watching. I appreciate you guys so much. Also, you guys continue to support the channel by watching the videos, sharing the videos, all that good stuff. Shout out to everybody who gave super chats or cash apps. I appreciate y'all for the support. It definitely helps the channel. Make sure you hit that bell and click on all so that you will be notified when I go live or post new content. There is new content coming to the channel each and every day. So make sure you guys are watching that and liking it. That way we can get those videos to grow. So make sure you are supporting in that way as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate you guys once again. Stay tuned for more. Thanks to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. Y'all be safe out here in these streets, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Bye.